How's it going, guys, and welcome to SHOT Show 2020.
I thought we were squatting.
We were going to squat, but you know what? I don't think we can hold it for that long.
All right.
We're here at the Tops booth with Craig, and we are going to jump into some awesome new knives that Tops has. We got a really fun surprise at the end, but we're going to jump into kind of a new handle material.
Yes.
I'm really excited for this.
This one is cool.
Yeah. Tell me about this thing.
All right. So this is called the Muley Skinner. We're going to make this with a saw as well.
Yeah.
So it's a two-piece set. You got the blade, you got a bone saw, and a gut hook. That bone saw actually has a very slight kind of backwards grind on it, so it's a little bit thinner on the spine than it is on the teeth to help avoid binding.
Okay, yeah.
So pretty cool little feature there. But what's really cool about these is the handle material is this new stuff that is called SureTouch G10. Basically, the tan color that's on this is G10. The black color that's on it is rubber.
Cool.
So you get this just little bit of extra grip no matter how you hold it. You can feel the rubber on the edges, you can feel the rubber on the front, and you just get that grip that the reason I've never been a really big fan of G10 is it's hard to make it not slick.
Right, not slick or not really rough.
Yeah.
Right, finding that sweet spot's really hard.
Yeah, you either get that peel ply stuff that's like a sandpaper, or it's too smooth.
Yeah.
That's my beef with it. I get why some people like it.
Yeah.
More power to them. No problem there. But this is cool because of that. You get that grip. I don't know. It's cool stuff.
This is really cool. Now, so I've got a background of swinging a hammer for a lot of years.
Okay.
And S-wing, that was what I always had. And you got the full tang with the rubber on it.
Oh yeah.
Is there any is there any sort of absorption ability with this?
So it's
because it is really grippy and really comfortable.
It's brand new,
right?
And so we're still testing it.
Yeah.
What we're looking for is how it's going to hold up in cold.
Right.
Is it going to crack?
Yeah.
Is it going to when rubber gets, depending on the rubber, you can have problems when it's too cold. If it gets too hot, is the glue between the rubber and the G10 going to fall apart?
Totally.
So we're testing. We don't know for sure if it's gonna be our thing.
Right.
But so far, so good.
Cool.
We're digging it.
That is really exciting.
I'm not seeing much absorption.
Okay.
I think if you soaked it, I think if you tried to use it on a dive knife, that probably wouldn't be good.
Right.
But I think for something that you're gonna use for hunting, for everyday kind of use, I don't think you're gonna see problems.
Cool.
So
no, that's really cool to see, man.
Really cool stuff.
It's you guys always have on the way down. We did some stuff on Instagram.
I saw that.
People were asking hey, what are you guys excited? I'm always excited to come to Tops because you guys always have something new and exciting going on, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's just the truth. You guys always got something good. All right, so next up we have this, which is kind of two versions of the same knife, right?
So this is called the Toko, which is a type of toucan, and basically what we were looking for is something EDC sized that you could modify easily. So we're gonna make it with tan canvas handles, black canvas handles, and skeletonized. Depending on how well it goes, if we sell a lot of these, if it does well for us, we'll add more versions of it. We'll probably add a stainless version. We'll do things like that just to kind of give people options. But we wanted to start with the least expensive options first.
For sure.
The smaller knife, we want to keep that price down as much as we can. But just a simple EDC.
Yeah.
Everything you want to cut, this will, 90% of what you're going to need to cut throughout the day, this will do.
Well, last year I was crushing on that bull trout.
Yeah.
And this has got some of the similar dimensions to the bull trout.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I think this could be a great EDC. I carried that thing a lot in 2019, and it's a good one.
Oh yeah, that one. I don't know. There was something really cool about that knife.
Yeah.
Every time I see it, I just have to go pick one up.
Yeah, you have to,
Yep.
So next up, we have some kind of fun.
Yes.
So this is actually one of the things you guys have made in the past. I tried to get one from you at Blade Show, but I didn't have enough cash.
Yeah.
But now you got a mini version. So tell me about this thing.
So we have the Tops Mini Sling. Basically, slingshots are just fun.
They're just fun.
It's a toy, man. I just remember being a kid, you would always try to make them. If you could get your hands on a real one, that was like the ticket.
Oh yeah.
You'd go out and you'd shoot at birds and never hit them, and shoot cans off of rocks and things like that. They're just fun. So the mini one is basically just the concealed. It's the concealed carry version.
This is definitely
what I would call that.
You're gonna have an inside the waistband holster for it.
Of course. Yeah, we don't want anybody seeing this.
Yeah. You don't want to print with this thing.
Yeah. So basically, we just thought it'd be really fun to do a smaller version.
Yeah.
There's another one where we're actually gonna take this handle and twist it 90 degrees.
Cool.
which our graphics guy actually came up with that idea. He was like, well, look, if this was a knife, you would hold it like this. But if it's a slingshot, so why don't you turn the handle 90 degrees and then it'll feel kind of like a knife handle.
Yeah.
So that one's going to be really cool too.
Nice.
But this one's basically just a mini version of the regular one.
Of your already awesome slingshot.
Yes.
And the thing that I love about this, I just have to harp on it just a little bit because I was like that Dennis the Menace kid with a slingshot in my back pocket,
absolutely.
Right? I mean, that is literally an EDC slingshot.
Yep.
I mean, you
could carry that in. It's not going to take up any room.
Throw it in your watch pocket.
Yep.
Right. Boom, done. And you got a little slingshot, little ball of paper, little pebble, whatever.
You want to shoot Skittles at at the guy in the booth next to you?
Exactly.
Done.
So, anyways, really neat little deal there. Cool. And what we got here?
So this guy I'm excited about. The Night Spike is what we're calling it. Basically, it's basically a throwing knife.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never really made throwing knives. We've just never ventured into that. A lot of what you see in throwing knives on the market is softer knives with a dull edge on them. It's just not really our style.
Yeah.
So this thing we are trying to develop it to be balanced as a good throwing knife. We're going to try and make sure that the heat treat will take some of that force that you get when you throw a knife. The thing that I'm most excited about on this guy, it just looks good. I mean, the lines are really good. Aside from that, we did a distal taper. So we actually started at 1/4 inch. Right now it ends at about 1/8 of an inch. I think what we're going to try to do is take a little bit more off because it's still a little bit handle heavy. So we're going to try and thin that down just a little bit more. Keep that taper. You just don't see that in a production knife.
No, you don't see distal taper very often, and that's exactly why you want to have a distal taper, is to have more support on your edge or more support on your blade and less on the back, and to balance it out. So it's cool to see it in this kind of really neat extra throwing knife.
Yeah,
right?
and for a throwing knife, it's cool because the handle narrows a little bit. It's gonna have, you're gonna have clearance as you throw it and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah. And then it's got looks like it has a partial dagger edge on the top as well.
Yeah, so we'll the default will be single edged.
Okay.
But we brought this one so that people know, yes, we can sharpen the top edge.
You can't throw an edge on.
Yeah, will be an option.
Right on.
So, yeah, distal taper. I thought that was cool that we pulled that off.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
All right, and then the next one that we have, this is actually one of your guys', this is the Employee Knife of the Year design contest.
Yes.
So if you guys don't know about Tops, they have a contest every year, and they have an employee design a knife, and then they bring that knife to production. Whichever knife wins, I don't know how you guys determine on just voting? On the
We vote. Basically,
yeah.
So Leo and I will vote, and then a couple of other guys that run different parts of the company, they'll vote.
Yeah.
And
to decide, and that's where the bull trout came from.
Exactly.
Right. And so, what's this one here?
So this one, the last year's competition, basically what we said was, all we want you to do is design a knife that's about this long overall with about this long of a blade. Do what you want.
Okay.
So this is our 4th time doing this. The first 3 we had a specific design we were looking for.
There was like a kitchen knife, an EDC knife, or something.
And the first one was a hatchet.
Hatchet was the first one. That's right.
Yeah. And so they all had kind of a specific theme. And this year we were like, you know what? Let's just see what they got. Let's just surprise us. And we got some. It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough because we had some really good designs. We had some hunting knives that came out that we would totally have made. We had some EDC type stuff. We had some tactical looking knives. We had a little bit of everything, and it was tough. It was a hard decision. But this one, just everything about it was right. This, compared to the actual drawing, is almost identical. Like
cool.
Very, very few changes.
Yeah.
And that is something that we really liked. We for Leo, he's like, I don't have to change anything. I tweak this, I tweak that, and it's done. That speaks a lot to him, because a lot of times when he designs a knife, that's just it. He'll draw it and maybe make a couple of changes as he goes, but usually it's just done. So that spoke to him. I liked that kind of almost like a Wharncliffe, but it's got kind of a bit of a hunter's edge on that
Blade
too.
HQ, we just call it modified. Modified Wharncliffe. There you go.
There you go. So solid knife. This was designed by Luis Murillo, who is Martin's brother. Martin is the guy that designed the bull trout.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So now his brother won this year.
You got some family designers going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Luis is he does a lot of our Kydex and actually does a lot of the heat treating for our stainless steels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
awesome. And what's the name on that?
It's called the Trail Seeker.
Trail Seeker.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, this one's cool. This one's cool because of who designed it. So, I don't know if you follow some of the primitive skills and like the bushcraft type crowd and
Yeah.
gatherings. There's a guy named David Holliday.
Sounds really familiar.
He's from southern Utah. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Matt Graham, but I mean, this guy, he's got a wealth of knowledge. He's an artist. He's a musician. He's, primitive skills. The guy's got it down. Just a real cool guy, real chill, like great to talk to. And we saw him at this place. There's a gathering in Idaho about 20 miles or so north of our facility. They
Right.
do every year called Rabbit Stick.
Okay.
It's a primitive skills gathering. You got people there teaching you how to brain tan leather, how to butcher an animal, how to start fire, how to make things out of the stuff in your environment, like all sorts of stuff. And this guy knows a little bit of all of that.
Yeah.
Just a really cool guy. So anyway, he's from southern Utah. I believe that he's part Native American. If not, he's at least got a connection there with those peoples, especially in the Sonoran Desert.
Okay.
So we're calling this one the Sonoran,
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
which that was his idea. We liked it. It's similar to a Puko. He kind of likes that almost a Mora feel to it, but he likes this clip that goes a little higher than normal. We may even make that a little more pronounced on the final version. Handle definitely needs to be a little bit longer, but we're pretty close with this. Modified Scandi grind, and interestingly enough, for all those bushcrafters out there that have to have a 90-degree spine, this is not the knife for you, because David Holliday doesn't like that.
Interesting. Okay.
He actually
Yeah.
he actually would like us to round it a little bit more.
And what's the reason for that? Do you know?
He doesn't. The guy knows how to start fire probably 15 different ways.
Right.
So he doesn't need to use his knife.
He just gets a pile of sticks and says "fire start" and
Yeah,
just goes.
he's
Okay.
pretty much
one of those guys.
He
Yeah,
does
yeah.
like a little ritual and then boom, bonfire. But yeah, basically he wants us to round it a little bit more because he's probably gonna baton through a little kindling with it. He's gonna do little things like that, and he just wants that rounded edge. Technically, it makes it a little stronger because you don't have
Right. Of course.
the 90 degree
Yeah.
that 90 degree area. It's just his style. He doesn't have a problem with knives that have that sharp edge, but it's not him.
Just not his jam. Interesting. Cool. And that's called the Sonora.
The Sonoran.
Sonoran.
Yes.
Sonoran.
Yeah, cool little knife.
Speaking of little knives,
Speaking of little knives, this guy is basically 4 1/8 inches long, something like that.
Yeah.
Overall, it's called the Mini Tanimboka Puko. So, Goran, the guy that designed the original, the Tanimboka Puko, the one that we're making,
okay.
he designed this one also. He, for those of you that don't follow this guy, you should follow him. He makes knives in the middle of the Amazon jungle with no power tools in a little forge that he's got in his house. He owns a nature reserve, so his house is completely surrounded by the jungle. He lives minutes away from the Amazon River. I mean, the guy lives in like the coolest place on earth
That's awesome.
and makes knives in the jungle by hand. It's just
Right.
it's
Yeah,
cool. So anyway, he's been into knives since he was a child. He likes big knives, little knives, tiny knives,
Tiny
all of
knives.
it. And so basically he's just this he's like, I just want something to whittle with. He makes a lot of times when he'll go out camping in the jungle, they'll just take whatever material's there and make stuff out of it. So he's always making a mug to drink coffee out of, or a spoon, or this or that, and then he'll just toss it back, and in the jungle it's gone in a pretty short amount of time.
Yeah, it's just gone. Yeah. So just kind of like a little detail working knife then.
Yep, exactly.
And you're gonna do it, I'm assuming, some sort of a neck carry.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
do this probably in a leather sheath with a tip down type carry.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
really
Cool
cool little guy.
bushcrafter.
Yep.
Now stepping from there into obviously where Tops plays a lot, but maybe a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit different than what you just showed us.
Yeah,
What do we got
I
here?
mean, they're
Similar.
you can see the similarities, right? I mean,
This is something that I love about
Yeah.
Tops though, is you guys are willing to just you don't get stuck in one place. You guys are willing to run the gamut on just awesome knives. I mean, we got slingshots, we got throwing knives, we got tiny puukos, we got not sharp edge puukos, and we got a hatchet.
We got a hatchet.
Like an awesome hatchet.
Yes. So this has got that Sure Touch material again. So the orange is G10, the black is rubber, and then it's got a black liner at the bottom. Man. So we're calling this the Yukon Hawk. Our building is technically in Yukon. We're like, you cross the street and you're in Idaho Falls. So we can call it a suburb of Idaho Falls, if that's a thing.
I've been to Idaho Falls. I don't know if there's any suburbs, but
it's too small. I wouldn't call it that, but it is what it is. So we're calling it the Yukon Hawk. And basically, there's a couple of hatchets that we're retiring because the materials that we're using are getting expensive. They're getting hard to get a hold of and things like that. So we needed something to replace them with. And Leo was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a full tang, and here we are. So, I mean, 1/4 inch thick, 1095. Standard tops fair with a nice rubberized G10 handle. Good to go.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then you have basically El Chete and Kukri, I guess.
Yes.
And El Chete and Kukri went on a honeymoon, and this is what happened.
Yes. So when a knife loves another knife, they get together, and this is what happens. So yeah, basically Leo was like, you know what, he kind of likes that Kukri style, but he doesn't really like, I don't think he likes that the way the rounded edge is normally. Mm-hmm. So he's like, you know what, I got something I'm gonna do. And this came out just like the El Chete, real fast, real simple. He took basically the El Chete handle, added some space here, so you can get a full grip here, or up here. Kinked the edge. I think it's actually a little bit longer cutting edge, if I remember right. Just all around, it's a beast. That's why we're calling it the Bestia.
Yeah, yep, the beast.
Exactly. So, I mean, 1/4 inch 1095. It's got our tactical stone powder coat, which is kind of a proprietary thing we do with powder coat. Two-toned micarta handles with a black liner. Just this thing is crazy. I actually, when we were testing it in the office, just to give it a go, there's a cabinet we have in the back that's we've just beat on forever.
Okay.
And Leo's wife got a hold of this thing. Holy crap.
Took that cabinet out.
Oh man, she put some holes in it. She buried the tip about this deep. I was impressed.
Cool.
It just reminded me never to make her mad.
Don't ever mess with her.
No, you don't want to do that.
Well, and something I love about that is, at least in the Western United States, I'm a Western United States guy. It's where I grew up my whole life. And we use a lot of hatchets and axes, not a lot of machetes and things like that. So you have something like that where you get kind of this uniqueness of the Kukri, which really is a kind of a jungle tool.
Yeah.
But you kind of Westernized it. Like you made it so us Western boys can go out and chop down a tree or whatever with it,
Yeah, in with the kind of terrain you got in Idaho and Utah.
Yep.
That'll take it all apart.
Yeah, that's a cool piece.
Yep.
All right, guys. Now, as promised, we had a little surprise. I was actually surprised when I walked up to the booth today. You might remember, I think it was last SHOT Show we talked about.
It was
last SHOT Show. We talked about this thing, and we asked you guys if you guys wanted to see Tops make it. And the news is, guys, that they're made. They're just working on sheaths right now, and this thing's going to be out soon. So what name did you land on?
It's called the Kuma Kaje.
Kuma?
It's not actually pronounced cage. It's pronounced Kaje.
Kaje. In case you're wondering, Kuma Kaje.
So the guy that designed this is big into martial arts, big into like G.I. Joe comics, and actually the Kuma Takri that he designed several years back was in a G.I. Joe comic.
Oh, interesting.
I believe this one's going to be in one as well.
Cool.
And so Kaje kind of comes from something to do with that. I didn't get the whole story. Johnny's way better at explaining it than I am anyway, but it is pronounced Kaje.
Kaje, which I think translates into super awesome, I need one.
I think so.
That's, I think, the direct translation.
That sounds, I think I'm recollecting that now, yes.
So anyways, guys, we got a top sword, basically, is what it boils down to. I know I'll get one. And as soon as these are available, we will make sure you guys know at Blade HQ when we have a couple. And it's going to be good.
Enjoy.
Great. It is always a blast coming by. Thank you so much.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
Always good to see you.
Yeah. And thank you guys for following along. Make sure to check out our SHOT Show 2020 playlist here on YouTube. We've got tons of videos coming to you all day, every day throughout the show. We'll see you on the next one.